Hey, it's Matt Decker with Leveraged Wealth Management. What you're looking at here is the Contact Us page on our website, leveragedwm.com. If you have questions, if you have concerns, you can always go here, fill out the form, and it'll come straight to my email, and we will get back to you promptly with any answers to your questions. So I encourage you to take advantage of this Contact Us page on leveragedwm.com. I'm really excited about our topic today. We're going to be peeling back the curtain and talking about one specific policy change that you can make to your indexed UL policy that's going to increase your lifetime distributions, your lifetime tax-free income, and your cash accumulation if you've bought this policy or if you're looking at these policies for maximum supplemental retirement income. So this one key policy change that can increase your distributions, but nobody's doing it. And the reason that nobody's doing it is because it affects the agent's commission. So we're going to be peeling back the curtain and we're going to be talking about this one key change that you can be making to your policies to make them more efficient, kick out more income, and generate more cash. Now, one caveat about this particular video, the product that I'm using does not matter because this provision exists on just about every index universal life insurance product. So don't worry about the product that I'm using. Just pay attention to this one key change that I'm making and take a look at how it impacts lifetime distributions on your indexed UL. Here we go. We're going to start by looking at a typical indexed UL policy. This is probably how most people have purchased IUL. It's a 50-year-old male preferred non-tobacco. Okay, 50-year-old male preferred non-tobacco. We're paying $2,000 a month or $24,000 a year. And as you can see here, we're paying this premium for 15 years. And the minimum death benefit solve is giving us $1 million death benefit. Now, this is typically how these policies are sold by agents. $1 million death benefit, it's a minimum solve, $2,000 a month. This is a 50-year-old male preferred non-tobacco. And you can see that the income that's being generated in year 16 is just under $42,000 a year. Now, on the face of it, most people would see this policy and fall in love with it because who wouldn't want to pay $2,000 a month for 15 years and nearly double that in the form of tax-free income that's not subject to market risk and is non-reportable. It doesn't cause your Social Security to be taxed. It doesn't cause your Medicare to be surcharged. This is a great plan. It's a great idea. 24 goes in, 42 comes out, tax-free for life. It's beautiful. And this is how most people see or purchase their indexed universal life insurance policy. This is also the reason why a lot of industry professionals hate IUL, because there's one tiny policy provision going on here that has been switched, and it's been switched into the agent's favor. So much so that he doubled his commission on this product, and it's actually making your retirement distributions much lower than they could have been. So he's doubled his commission, and in turn it's decreased your retirement distributions, but this still looks really good. So most people see this, they have no idea what the agent did to the policy to double his commission. They don't even know that that option exists, and so they purchase this policy not knowing that they've bought a policy that's not really as efficient as it could be, okay? This $1 million death benefit is technically the minimum death benefit for this particular policy because of that one little change that the agent, that I in this case, made to this policy. But it doesn't have to be that way. So for this minimum death benefit maximum funded $1 million policy at 6.5%, it is going to kick out just about $42,000 a year, but it could be so much better. So let's take a quick look at what could have been. I made one tiny change to this policy and it's going to blow you away. So as you can see here, it's still a male age 50. It's still preferred non-tobacco. We're still paying $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year. We're still showing the same 6.5% rate of return, and we're paying those premiums for the first 15 years. But there's one tiny key difference, and it's the death benefit. It's more than half of what the other policy was. Now you're saying, Matt, you told me the other one was a minimum death benefit, that it couldn't get any lower. And that's true. But I made one tiny policy change that allowed me to take the death benefit from $1 million, $1 million minimum solve, and drop all the way down to $434,000. $1 million all the way down to $434,000 with this one tiny little policy change that none of you even know about. Unless you're in this industry doing it full time, you don't know that you can take your $1 million minimum death benefit and you can drop it all the way down to $434,000 with this one tiny policy change that no agent wants to talk about. And why don't they want to talk about it? Because this $24,000 policy at $1 million is paying them twice as much as this $24,000 policy for $434,000. So no one wants to talk about it. Now just look at the impact on the income. We were showing just under 42 grand, and by making this one tiny policy change, we take your income from $42,000 all the way up to just under $50,000 tax-free for life without market risk. That's a crazy increase just by the agent doing what's right for the client and showing you a truly minimum funded policy with the right policy provisions in place. If you were to take income from age 65 to age 85, we're talking about an increase of $150,000 in additional tax-free income just by the agent doing what's right and making this tiny policy change that increases your distributions from $42,000 to $50,000. But nobody is doing that. No agent out there is doing that. And why? Because the people that they're talking to aren't educated enough to know that this exists as an option. And it's such a shame. Because who wouldn't want $50,000 a year in retirement if they knew that it was there to be had? It's there to be had. The $42,000 looks great, but guess what? 50 looks better. But the reason you don't know 50 exists is because agents get greedy and they don't do what's right for the client. They do what's right for their own wallet. So let me explain the wizardry behind the difference here between $1 million minimum solve, because I told you this was a minimum solve, and it was, and this $434,000 minimum solve. I told you this was a minimum solve, and it is. They are both the minimum death benefit based on this one tiny policy provision that the agents can manipulate that you probably don't even know exists. And here's what it's called. It's called your death benefit option. There are three main death benefit options: death benefit option 1, death benefit option 2, and death benefit option 3. Also known as a level death benefit, that's option 1, an increasing death benefit, that's option 2, and a return of premium death benefit, that's option 3. Each of those death benefit options actually gives you a different minimum death benefit. They influence the minimum death benefit that the IRS allows. So it's very important that you choose the right one. This first policy, the $1 million policy, at $24,000 a year, 50 preferred on tobacco, is a death benefit option 1. It's an option A level. The option A level is kicking out $42,000 a year because the death benefit's $1 million. It's also doubling my commission, which is great for me, but it hurts you. The second policy is an option 2, an increasing death benefit solve. That increasing death benefit solve allows us to drop our death benefit to $434,000. And in turn, it's going to increase your cash value. It's going to lower your fees. It's going to lower my commission. But what's it going to do that everybody really, really cares about? It's going to take your income from $42,000 a year all the way up to just under $50,000 a year. Now, what's crazy is that there's actually that third death benefit option, return of premium, that I talked about. And there's one carrier out there that actually lets you buy even less insurance using their return of premium death benefit option, and you might see that $49,680 turn into $51,000 or $52,000 just by using that return of premium death benefit option. But what's important to know here, it's not necessarily, has nothing to do with Symetra, the product that I'm showing, has nothing to do really with the premium that you're paying or even the death benefit so much, or how old somebody is. What it really has to do with is the death benefit option influencing the minimum death benefit that you need to purchase in order for the IRS to still consider this non-taxable, non-reportable income in retirement. That's the key here. So if you're working with an agent, it's not enough to just ask for a minimum death benefit policy designed for maximum cash accumulation, because they're probably going to show you a level death benefit that generates them twice the commission. What you need to be asking for is a minimum death benefit option B, or minimum death benefit increasing policy that's going to generate the maximum retirement income. That's going to give you what you want. That's going to give you this $434,000 policy versus the $1 million policy. As always, with any questions, go to our website, leveragewm.com/contact-us. Fill out the form, or you can email me directly at matt@leveragewm.com. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, click the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. I look forward to talking with all of you in the future. Take care.